Hello and welcome to episode 10 of my retrospective look at TT Games LEGO games of the past. If this is your first time watching any of the videos from the series, then don't forget to subscribe and also head to our YouTube channel or lifeinbrick.com for the full series. Over the last 10 weeks we've been on an epic adventure through the TT Games LEGO multiverse, and it's taken us on a journey to galaxies far far away, Gotham City, Hogwarts, Avengers Tower and even Middle Earth. Now however we're heading somewhere a little bit different, a little bit cuckoo some might say. Following on from the huge success of LEGO Marvel Superheroes, TT Games moved quickly on to the next big project, another multi-generational, multi-platform release that would have the ease of an established story, but the difficulty of selling newly created characters to video game fans. Having finally created their own big budget movie franchise in 2014, LEGO and TT Games decided the new material was ripe for the games market, and so the LEGO Movie video game was born. For those not familiar with the film, I can't imagine there are many of you left, but the LEGO Movie follows Emmett, a simple construction worker who is thrust into a world of prophecies, destiny and universal destruction. Having accidentally stumbled across a fabled relic, Emmett must realise his potential and lead a rebellion against the evil Lord Business. This movie is basically Harry Potter meets the Matrix in LEGO form, but we're not here to review the movie, we're here to discuss the game. Unsurprisingly, given the source material was too created by LEGO, the story is extremely faithful to the movie, with all the key cinema scenes being the inspiration for the chapters in the game. I mean, this is to the point where, for those few LEGO fans on the planet that still haven't seen the movie and are looking for a spoiler-free experience, it's best to save the game until afterwards. They even use scenes from the movie rather than cutscenes, so it would really ruin your experience if you haven't previously seen the movie. Now, much like LEGO Marvel Superheroes, the story is split up into 15 levels, and while that might not seem like a lot in terms of filling an entire movie's worth of story, especially one with so many great environments, the levels are extensive. In some cases they're split into multiple environments. I mean, one big example I can say is there's a bit where half the story is on a pirate ship, half of it is in the evil lair of the Octan Tower. So, they're quite varied in terms of location. The gameplay itself isn't going to be any trouble for any LEGO video game veteran, as TT have once again stuck with their if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach with regards to how the game mainly plays. If anything, the LEGO Movie actually takes things back a notch in terms of gameplay complexity when compared to games like the Harry Potter franchise or LEGO Marvel and DC. That said, while it's not groundbreaking, there are a number of things that they brought in, a number of new elements they brought into the game, all themed around aspects from the movie, including specific new skills for characters like Emmett, for example. He carries around a drill and can destroy walls, while Vitruvius can use his staff on a number of different puzzles, as well as being the only character that can walk on thin ledges. He's blind, so he doesn't see the danger posed, much like in the movie. The most interesting aspect of the game is that Emmett is unable to build things from the scattered bricks, a simple gameplay mechanic that's been there since LEGO Star Wars. The reason? He's not a master builder and so he can only follow instructions. It's genius. Very much following the tone of the movie, there are plenty of pure mental moments in the game as well. On 2 occasions during the main story, the player is suddenly thrown into a rhythm-based mini-game where the player has to press the correct sequence of buttons in time with "Everything is Awesome," the main theme of the movie. If you don't know that song, don't listen to it because it will be stuck in your head for the rest of your life. Master Builders, who feature prominently in the movie, they also have their own gaming mechanic for specific challenges within each level, and Emmett, our hero construction worker, is also given the task of assembling multiple LEGO kits through the game using interactive manuals to select the LEGO bricks required. It all sounds pretty standard for a LEGO game in terms of evolution really. Each game takes the best of the previous and adds a few franchise specific extras. But the LEGO Movie video game isn't quite that simple. As with the past 2 or 3 games that came before it, the player is free to move around the open world between chapters. Where this game differs slightly, and where the spark of genius lies in this game over its predecessors, is in how the open world is laid out. Unlike LEGO Marvel Superheroes or LEGO Batman 2, the open world isn't one singular environment, but a host of different settings that can be accessed via a magical portal. Just like our hero in the movie, the player is free to roam around these different worlds populated by different LEGO creations, from Bricksburg, Emmett's LEGO city-based hometown, to the Old West, to Cloud Cuckoo Land, the headquarters of the Master Builders. All of these worlds, they are fully explorable in all their glory without the confines of a structured level. The character base is extensive, especially considering the fact that the movie focuses on about 5 characters for 80% of the movie. So, the developers have essentially pulled every mention of a character out of obscurity and given them a piece of the action. The big names are here as well. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and even Green Lantern are all playable characters, even bringing their abilities from the LEGO DC games with them. And yet, Flash has been left out, which I have to put down as a negative, as he is one of my favourite DC characters, and he does feature in the movie. Only if it's for about 3 seconds, but that's not the point. It does feel that there are a lot of these characters that have only been added just to fill space though, and many literally offer nothing in terms of diversity. So you've got a dozen cowboys, for example, that all do exactly the same thing. Now, while that might be a bit of a negative, there are so many more positives here. Now, of course, one of the big ones is the fact that at this point in LEGO Games history, voice acting in-game is already a standard, and the dialogue here is superb, fits in perfectly with what you expect from the movie, and it helps even more that the fact that the main movie cast have added their vocal talents to the soundtrack. Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnett, and even Morgan Freeman all bring their characters back to life once more, and it makes a massive difference in terms of the experience, something that is noticeably missing from the LEGO Marvel game. Now, the musical soundtrack is straight out of the movie, different variations of that song, that, trust me, if you haven't heard it, don't, throughout the story. All in all, it's a big thumbs up from a sound perspective. Graphically, this game is still stunning as it was when it came out, and to be fair, it's only been 4 years, but it still looks very, very good, and 4 years is a very long time for gaming. The developer clearly took a lot of time to recreate some of the crucial scenes from the movie and adapt them into varying worlds full of life. The colours, the textures on both the characters and the backgrounds shine through, especially on the Xbox One versions, the PS4 versions, and the PC versions that are all running 1080p. Every level and open world has a unique look, and unlike some of the previous LEGO games, it just runs smooth, it's seamless, it is awesome. I mean, in terms of the way this looks, this is the perfect LEGO game. Unsurprising considering LEGO actually came up with the source material themselves. The game is many things, but what makes it rare is it's a brilliant movie to game adaptation, which stays true to the story of the source material and still proves that it got its own unique experience. You know, at no point while you're playing this do you feel that this game was purely created to cash in on the movie. It is an entity in its own right, and it's awesome. Returning quickly to the open world though, I do have one specific critique to make, and it's one that appears to be entirely unique to this game. Despite all the innovations that have come before, some of the more useful of them have been completely missed out here. Where the multiple open world environments are far smaller than the one big one you get in, say, LEGO Marvel, the developers made the odd decision to remove the map function. This in turn makes tracking down levels, or for repeating for open world play, significantly more difficult task than it ever needed to be. It's just painful to say the least. That's why there is a lot of forums out there that actually say, where do I find these levels? You don't get that with any other LEGO game. Now, despite that one issue, however, the LEGO Movie video game is still a masterful addition to the LEGO TT Games history. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, it's probably the best direct movie to video game adaptations ever made. It doesn't hurt the fact that the movie is already tailored for the game in every way possible. Having Chris Pratt and the other movie cast return was genius. This could have come across as such a cheap knockoff without it. You really wouldn't have wanted Emmett sounding differently in the game compared to the movie. It would have just ruined the experience. There's so much fun and optimism thrown into this bricked adventure, it's almost impossible not to enjoy it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. The LEGO Movie is definitely one of my favourites in terms of the video game itself. It is about as perfect a game as you would expect going from the movie to the game, and so much fun to enjoy. Especially I remember playing it quite a few times over and over again while I was waiting for the movie to come from the cinemas to like Blu-ray. Anyway, I'll be back very soon with another video in this series. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't watched any of the previous ones, please do subscribe, and please go to our YouTube channel where there is already a playlist set up specifically for this on the homepage. If not, go to lifeinbrick.com, you'll find all the videos on there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope please do leave a comment. Please do visit lifeinbrick.com and our Instagram and every other thing you can find us on. I would love to hear some feedback from you, good or bad. I want to make these videos as good as possible, so please do leave a comment below as well. As I said, I'm back very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.